everybody. Welcome back to RT Talk, the weekly podcast about the company Rooster Teeth. I am Michael Cool, and Doug Kirkwood joins me again this week as my loyal co-host and best friend. And we cover what you see from the thumbnail if you're watching on the video, or the title if you're listening just from the podcast. We talk about Alanah leaving Rooster Teeth this week, and we do also talk about Elise's book, her new Halloween book, and talk about a delay in shirts that people got for RTX At Home. I do want to mention really fast at the beginning here, since we are kind of just now doing this video podcast thing. Last week we did have a ton of delays. We had a lot of issues. I'm not going to go into a full detail here because we cover it in depth on Out the Grapes this week. But basically we had all sorts of issues with getting Doug's footage, with uploading. My internet went out at one point, so we had a ton of delays. Today, as I record this right now, I already have Doug's footage, so we're already way ahead of where we were last week. And hopefully the video portion of this, if you're listening to this, will be out closer to the initial release of the audio version. If you're finding this on YouTube, then this podcast is released in audio form on Spotify, on iTunes, on all the places where podcasts exist. So you can find it there. And we also do, when I said we mentioned Out in the Grapes, we do another podcast that comes out on Wednesdays called Out in the Grapes, where Doug and I just talk. It's just a more general podcast about our lives and about, things we're watching, things we're doing. And this week we talked about our new theme song, and like recording it and stuff. And then, like I said, we talked about their upload issues, and then we get into Doug met the singer Flyleaf possibly, and I talk about how much I love the show Lucifer. And but so if you're not aware of that comes out every Wednesday, and that will not be coming out in video form just yet. We want to get this kind of nailed down before we move on to try to add on an additional kind of video thing, because last week was all headaches, and it took like 3 days to get it uploaded because trying to get Doug's footage took literally days. It was like 12 hours, and it still wasn't coming through. So I just want to mention that real fast because I know not everyone listens to Out in the Grapes, but I wanted to at least point you in that direction if you were curious, and say that we've kind of ironed out some of the wrinkles and kinks that we had from last week's episode. So if you're listening to this, you can find this episode, the video version anyway, on YouTube, and I will have a link in the description of the podcast that'll say, follow this link for the video. If you're watching this on YouTube, there's a link in the description that'll take you, kind of directs you to the audio version. So other than that, I don't want to keep this episode held up anymore. I've already talked for like 3 minutes here, so I have nothing else. So let's just get the show started. Go ahead, past Mike.
Hello. Happy Halloween.
Yes, welcome back, everybody, and welcome for the first time. I don't know if you have an actual name, but Spooky Doug. I don't know. You need like a moniker here.
Just Hot Dog Doug, Spicy Dog.
What's the thing is, on the webcam, the hot dog is barely you could be. There we go. I saw a little bit of mustard.
Yeah.
The way you were sitting before, it's that you could have been any number of food items, but fluff out the bun a little bit. Really get this going. For people who are only listening, you're missing out on quality visual visual cues here. But Doug realized just before we started recording that this is the Halloween episode. Yeah, you're gonna need those. This is stupid.
I look great.
It's so stupid.
I can't see anything, everybody, just so everyone knows.
This is the dumbest thing we've done.
I'm like Clark Kent with the glasses.
Yeah,
no one can't tell.
No one will ever know who you are. Doug realized like probably right before we're about to start that this was the Halloween episode, so he wanted to have a costume on. But of course that mask is going to be terrible for anyone who's just listening. So.
Yes. So I took it off, but I'm keeping the hot dog costume on. 1, because it's warm, and 2, because it's Halloween.
Yeah, Doug mentioned that his window's just open for this, and it's I think tonight's the coldest night so far this year. Or I mean, not this year, but for this season. So it's going to get a little frigid, but this is not Out in the Grapes. We are here to talk about Rooster Teeth news, and although I welcome Hot Doug Doe. What? What was your name?
I was trying to think of like a spicy hot dog name, like a El Diablo dog or something.
Like you're a, I don't know, what is a spicy hot dog? Hot Italian Doug?
Oh, that's a hoagie.
Well, I'm just trying to keep it in the same ballpark.
Does this help with the hot dog look?
It helps with the look, yes. It's this is quite a way to start the second ever video podcast.
Wow.
But we have to wait quite a while for another Halloween or another episode that will be coming out on Halloween. So this all lines up. I don't now whether or not we have video issues and this actually makes it out on Halloween is a different story, but we'll see. That's the plan right now. The audio version is anyway. So
Right.
But yeah, let's actually get into the Rooster Teeth stuff here, so we don't keep people waiting any longer with this stupidity. So obviously, based on the this is gonna be a weird conversation to have while you're a hot dog, but
Can we take off the hood?
no, you're fine. It just
Let me take my casing off.
oh, I'm just staring at you as I'm trying to like. You're who I address this stuff to, and looking at you very seriously, looking back at me while also being a hot dog is just. I'm not used to that happening. I have to adjust to this new you. I don't know what's happening. Like every loud car in the world is going on outside right now.
It just sounds like 808 drops on my end.
Well, they're just giant trucks and stuff that are ripping by. But yeah, as everyone already knows, based on the title and everything, the big story of the week is that Alanah Pearce has left Rooster Teeth, which basically, as she clarifies, means she left Funhaus and Inside Gaming. I was really wondering what we were going to be talking about this week, because we're in this sort of, I feel like we're in this middle zone now where everything that happened with Adam and Ryan it's not subsided, but it's not the fervor that it was for, the last, like, I don't know, I don't even remember when that was, like 3 weeks ago now.
Yeah.
So it's not like as crazy as it was then. So that, like, mania has calmed down, and now it's like we're starting to kind of build back up to normal. So now we're kind of like in this like dead zone where, like, even Achievement Hunter and like the uploads and stuff are not on their normal schedule, because it's like GTA. I think GTA still came out Monday, but Gmod didn't come out this week. There hasn't been Gmod in a couple weeks. Minecraft's back in place, and it's like they're slowly starting to get their schedule back.
Did they say why it's still off, or is it just a fallout from that? It's like them, I assume, fixing videos and.
I think it's a little bit of having videos that don't have Ryan. This is my guess, like, or entirely speculation, I guess, but this is just my assumption. Is that they need videos that don't have Ryan in it, and also when this all happened, they took that week off, so there was a whole week where they also weren't shooting anything new either. Right. So what they were doing is they were just uploading streams like that they had done on the Rooster Teeth website, which you can find the streams on on roosterteeth.com, because they have the stream archive, which we've watched a couple times. So they were uploading some old streams and stuff that just never aired, and that was kind of how they were filling things out. And there's still a couple streams that are leaking in, but I think now like the production machine is up and running again, so now we're starting to see some stuff get dropped back in. So that's where, like, we're kind of like in this divot right now. And I was wondering what we were kind of going to be talking about, because before we would just default to doing a little bit of Rooster Teeth news and then just do Out the Grapes for the whole episode. But now that we've split that, it doesn't really make sense to do that.
Nope. And I blame you.
Okay. Well, I feel like I only ever get blame from you. I've never been credited with anything. And that I think it infects and affects our friendship, so much so that you're wearing a hot dog costume now.
This is me now.
This is the new you. But
toasty.
Yeah, so I didn't know what we were going to talk about, and then yesterday she announced that she was leaving. I was like, oh, well, there it is. So that'll be what we'll be talking about this week. So yeah, she put out a not so much a statement, but she put out a video that went into detail, like outlining why she's leaving, but she tweeted / Instagrammed just saying like the basics, what she was leaving Rooster Teeth, and that she cannot thank the Funhaus and Inside Gaming communities enough, and I will miss working so closely with every single member of both teams I've had the pleasure of being a part of. And then she links to the video, and then she followed up that tweet with, I just want to say thank you to everyone for the overwhelming support today. It truly sucks to leave these incredible teams, but it's also wonderful to know I have their support, and they 1,000% have mine. And then in all capitals, also, I'm not leaving to go to be a streamer / YouTuber, you giant dummies. So I can only assume that that's what a lot of people thought she was going to be doing, because that's what, Bruce has done. That's what like Lawrence has done. And it's a common path these days to go do that. And she has a YouTube channel and she streams and everything. So she does say in the video, and I'm just just paraphrasing and going from memory here, but basically the reason that she was leaving had to do with an opportunity that she got, like this new job that she will be taking. She didn't say what it was, but it would be something that it would be like announced, or like people would find out about it soon enough. I really thought when I saw that she was leaving that it was going to be, I thought it was going to be like family related, and maybe she would be going back to Australia, because if you follow her, you know this, but she tweets a lot about like how she hasn't been able to see her family in I don't know how long, and
The whole time everything's been happening.
yeah, and
So almost, I think, 8 months.
yeah, we're getting there. I think maybe it is. It was like I think March is when everything. Well, for us, I'd say I think it was around March, so April, May,
Yeah.
June, July, August, September, October, and we're basically in November. So yeah, it's 7 to 8 months, and who knows when it was the last time she saw them before things shut down. So, and I think she's mentioned the last time she got to see him, but I don't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, it's basically she's tweeted a lot about like missing her family, being close to their family, not be able to see them and everything. And I thought maybe this was like a personal thing that she was gonna be leaving for, or that she was stepping away for. But apparently it was for another opportunity that came about, and didn't hint at what it was or anything like that. She has a podcast that she does with I forget who. I know Troy Baker's on it. I can't remember who else is on it, but I think it's called like Play Watch Listen, I believe. And so she has her own like podcast that she does, and like I said, she does have her YouTube channel and everything else. So it's like I do wonder if it's gonna be something in the gaming world, and I guess what facet of it that she would be going into. So I mean, obviously we'll find out once she announces it, and probably she'll announce it tomorrow or like right after this podcast comes out. But because that happens to us a lot. But
Sunday we'll know.
Yeah, right after this goes up is whenever something will leak, or someone will figure it out, or maybe someone did figure it out and I just haven't seen that. But yeah, I don't know. I was really trying to think of what I thought maybe she would be going into, but as of right now, I have no idea. I have no guesses or anything as to what it could be. So, I mean, I know like she was one of my like favorite personalities in the Funhaus world. So, I mean, whatever she goes on to do, I'll be kind of keeping tabs on her. So it's probably something. I mean, if you're an Alanah fan and you're listening / watching this right now, it's something we'll mention in the future based on like what she's doing. We do that with Bruce and some of the other personalities that have left over the last year.
Like 25 people that left.
Yeah, a lot of big hitters that have slipped away.
Besides Bernie, we don't know what the hell he's doing.
He fled the country. He's probably tax evasion or something, I imagine. And
Peaced out.
Yeah.
Took mush.
Probably got involved with like a drug cartel or something. Got mixed up with the wrong people.
That seems reasonable.
Man, so he had to flee the country, and he's laying low with the cat and the kid, and the other kid and the wife. But yeah, I mean, at least with Bernie, like the writing was on the wall for a long time with how much he would talk about, wanting to not wanting to be there, but like stepping away from the podcast and everything. And because it was like, I forget how long before he actually left that he stepped away from the podcast. And then, so much time before that he stepped down from his position. It was like things kind of like came out in waves of this, and this. And I'm still eagerly awaiting that return of whatever capacity it's going to be. Because if anyone hasn't or the people that haven't heard that episode that we did, we talked about how he mentioned on the Stuck at Home podcast how he felt like he owed it to people that work there to still help out and to come back and do stuff like the Stuck at Home podcasts, and especially with everything going on for Corona and all that. So and they all talked about how much they wanted to do it again. So since I heard that and since he left, I've been waiting. I've been waiting for him to pop up in some capacity. But
let's give us a little taste.
Yeah, we need that freshly trimmed beard and that trucker hat that he has. Yeah, we need it back in our lives. But yeah, losing Alanah is one that I feel like that's a big blow to Funhaus. Not like predicting downfall or anything. What were we gonna say?
No, I was just say like who's. I want to say like left out of like I guess the original.
The original, I think, the only one left is James. James and Matt Peak, I think. I'm trying to think. I mean, Alana's not one of the originals either.
No, I mean, I feel like I know she was not original, but like in my head, she's been there so long.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to. Yeah, I think it's just Peak and James now. Trying to go through going through the Rolodex in my head, because Elise has been there for a long time, but she's not one of the OG ones.
Right.
Might as well be. What were you gonna ask?
No, I was saying I don't know if you I guess with all the personality like leaving or changing, like I don't know if do you follow Funhaus super closely or just a couple videos here and there to see if it's like different now?
I follow. I mean, I would say I'm definitely closer to it being more like here and there, because what used to happen all the time is I would go through kind of like moods that I would be in. So like all I'd want to watch would be Achievement Hunter, and I would watch Achievement Hunter videos, and then like once I was caught up on all the stuff that we usually watch, I maybe would go back to find old stuff or best ofs, and then we would listen to Off Topic, and that's all I want to listen to. And then I would flip and want to be Funhaus, and I wouldn't watch anything Achievement Hunter, and I would just be like strictly Funhaus. But honestly, for the past, I think even before we started this podcast, I've just only have watched Achievement Hunter, and I really haven't taken a break, which is kind of new for me. I used to always kind of get like burnt out a little bit, and then which same thing happens with like me listening to podcasts. It just like I was like, I kind of want to listen to something like this more, and then weeks and weeks and weeks go by, or sometimes months go by, and then it's like, oh, I haven't listened to that in such a long time, and then I'll go through and then get right back in the swing of it and be caught in that world again. So Funhaus, I haven't gotten caught up in that way with Funhaus in quite a while. I don't know if it's related to like, I mean, like maybe subconsciously I'm not as drawn to it now that like certain like key members have left that I really enjoyed. But I don't know. Yeah, I definitely watch more sparsely than like more often. So like I'm not super familiar with a lot of stuff they're putting out now. But that's what concerns me for Funhaus is not like Alanah left, so obviously it means they're done or whatever, which is there are videos like that are out there. And I should say too, just to mention, she mentions in her video which it's on you can find it on her YouTube channel or like on her Twitter, she linked to it, but she mentions too that the whole Adam situation has nothing to do with why she's leaving, that this decision was made actually before all that stuff came out. And she one thing that she mentions in it is that there was more details that they were aware of privately or were made aware of privately once this all kind of exploded that probably the public will never know. And it like she basically was waiting and like for that to kind of, I guess, die down more or, kind of process that whole situation before this, like she announced anything or did anything. But yeah, the Adam Kovic situation and I would say to a much lesser degree the Ryan situation for her had no impact on her leaving. This isn't a result of that. That's completely, the timing of it is completely coincidental and they're not related at all. So it has nothing to do with that. But the thing that what I was going to say was, I just feel like, especially right now, I mean, this could be taken as a way of me kind of like, I guess, not putting her down, but like maybe putting blame on her, which is not my intention with saying this, but I think right now, especially like same thing with Achievement Hunter, where after what happened with Adam and what happened with Ryan, where it was this huge blow to both groups, and stuff. It's like they're kind of in a recovery period, and I feel like someone leaving amidst this is kind of has some extra sting on it. But again, like I don't mean that as like a negative for her. Obviously, this is an opportunity that she's is passionate about and needs to be going to do. And it was something that was already in the works before this happened. You can't you can't keep changing your life based on what keeps happening around you.
Right. She can't just not, if she's moving back home or whatever, she can't just not do that because it's like, well, this happened, and now I don't want to tack this on. It's like she's just got to do it.
Yeah. You can't just keep delaying because of what's going on. I should say, like, I don't think she actually is moving back home. That was just my theory before I actually saw her video.
Right. But I just, yeah.
But the thing that I was saying, like, it being a blow to Funhaus is not even related to that part where they're kind of like in this recovery period. My thing was just how many big personalities have left that channel in the last year. Because you figure, like, for Rooster Teeth, they lost a lot of people, but it was between, like, Rooster Teeth and, Rooster Teeth and Achievement Hunter and, and Funhaus. Like, that's as, like, an entire company. But Funhaus is a group of, I don't know how big their staff is, but if you talk about, like, on-screen personality, it's, I don't know, maybe 8-10 people possibly that appear in videos and everything. And in the last year, they lost, what, 4 I can think of off the top of my head, with Lawrence, Bruce, Adam, and now Alanah. I'm sure, I mean, you could figure even before that it was well before any of this, but, before it was like Joel and Spool. I want to say that's all I can think of off the top of my head. I'm probably missing someone. It's probably really insulting that I can't remember them, but...
Hey.
But, yeah, I just think it's... They're having to adapt a lot to change, who's going to be on screen all the time. And it's like, when you lose such big personalities, it's not necessarily that we've talked about change on this podcast so many times that we've gone through and like why change is, it's not on paper a bad thing, but it can affect things in a negative way. But I just think that's a lot of adapting to have to do to when your roster is just slowly disappearing, or maybe not slowly in this case, but it's kind of quickly disappearing. And for these, these big personalities that people are really attached to leave, then it's like it kind of leaves a hole that someone else has to fill. And then it's kind of like there's always that weird adjustment period where certain people are not going to go for it and they're going to bounce, and then new people come. It's just like this whole mess. It's kind of the storm they have to kind of sail through, because it's just things are constantly changing, and change is almost always hard, or it's at least it's an adjustment, and especially for people who watch all the time. But yeah, I know for a fact that the community and stuff that eats up all the bad news and just uses it to like put on their corkboard for reasons why Rooster Teeth is failing or Funhaus is gonna go away. I know they love these types of stories, but
the doomsdayers.
Yeah, and I mean it's not even like, because the kind of ugly truth is it could be a problem and it could lead to Funhaus not existing, because there is the possibility that exists that I'm not saying like Alanah alone will be the reason that things fall through, but I'm just saying, for instance, if whoever they would, because obviously they've already replaced a lot of people and new people have come in, and there's new personalities there that people are already attached to. But just saying, for instance, like if people don't really get as attached to whoever comes in as they were to people before, then you just have an issue where maybe the views aren't coming in as much. Then it's kind of like, well, now we're not producing the revenue that we need to produce, and now we can't afford the staff. It's like things can really start to roll downhill. I just don't think whenever something like this happens, that means like someone leaving equals it going downhill, or like it's going to be destroyed and it's not going to exist anymore. It's kind of like, yeah, it could, or it could work out just fine.
Or yeah, it's going to keep going exactly how it's been going.
Yeah, and that's how. I feel like most of the videos you see about someone leaving Rooster Teeth, or like a lot of them that have to do with Ryan or Adam or whatever, a lot of them have to do with, again, like using that as like in their evidence folder for why things are going terribly. But it seems like honestly a lot of people more recently, the people that have left for bigger opportunities, or or different opportunities maybe.
That do their own thing.
Well, I mean, even Adam Ellis. Yeah. Adam Ellis left and is working for, I think, Astro Gaming, I think is what it is.
Yes, because I think I made fun of you for that.
Why?
Because I remember we were talking about it and you couldn't remember what it was. I don't remember.
I mean, I don't doubt that you made fun of me for it. I mean, that's like you speaking English. That's what I expect. But I don't remember. Like most things that you insult me with, I don't remember it anymore. But
buried deep.
Yeah, it just goes. I just throw it in the bottom of the closet and I shut the door. I'll find it in a couple years. But yeah, I think he works for Astro Gaming now. So it's like that's a better is subjective, or better or worse is subjective. But it's like it's a very well established and a very popular gaming company. So it's not like he just went and is now working at his local like retail store or something. It's like it's still in the industry. It's still a position I would say a lot of people would covet and would want. And then you have people like Becca, and she left to basically like flip houses. It's like, which was like just a left turn. I mean, she's been there for such a long time. It's like, so there's a lot of people who are leaving for other opportunities and not just, well, I'm just got let go, or I'm just walking away because X, Y, or Z. And yeah, so I know that there's a lot of when I know with Alana too. I remember her saying, I don't know if it was in a Q&A video or something, but I remember her saying how her kind of like Funhaus / Rooster Teeth and stuff to her was like, it was kind of getting her closer because she wanted to work in like the games industry. And I was gonna say game journalism, but she used to work at IGN. So I can't remember exactly what, because this was an old video that I saw a while ago too. But she said something about how she kind of like, how Funhouse and stuff like that was like her plan was to work there for a couple years because it was like it got her closer to like what she really wanted to do. So that was alluded to, like I said, a while ago. So again, I have no idea what she's actually moving on to, but I have a feeling whenever it's announced, it'll probably be like, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. Like that's kind of what she's talked about for a long time.
On Sunday, we'll know. The day after.
Yeah. Or just as this is uploading. Or tonight, after we finish recording. Before it even gets uploaded. Because that's happened a bunch of times, too. But yeah, I'm sad to see her go. It always feels weird, because, like, there's certain people that if... Like, I think so far, most people that have left... I mean, not most, but there's a lot of people that have left that you can still find them on... Like, Bruce, you can watch his streams. Lawrence, you can watch his streams. Even people like Ellie Main, she has a podcast and stuff. So like, there's people that as they've left Rooster Teeth, you can still like interact with them and everything. But and obviously she'll still have her YouTube channel and all that, and stream whenever she streams. But so it's like she's not gonna be gone completely. But it's just when you start to miss out on the dynamic. Basically, it's like her in the group, or like her in the gameplay and everything else. And I think it was 2 weeks ago, I just watched like the best of Alana, or Alana is confused or something like that. It was a compilation of her just not understanding what anyone was talking about. And honestly, one of my favorite like moments or clips of hers is I guess now is like, unfortunately, involves Adam. And it was whenever they were playing I think it was Drunk Smash Brothers, because that's a series that I don't know if they even still do it. Actually, I don't know if I haven't noticed it, but that doesn't mean it hasn't happened. But they always had like the drunk gameplays, or at one point they did a high gameplay where they just pick a game and like there's a punishment, or basically like if they did like Super Mario or the Mario Maker, if like when you die you have to take a shot or half a shot or something like that. So it's like basically they just kept getting drunker and it just becomes a complete chaos. And there's a moment you can find if you're okay with seeing a clip of Adam in it and feeling good about it. It was one of my favorite moments of Adam wearing a somewhat realistic but looking like a taxidermy fox head, and when you talk, the mouth opens on it, and it's him with the fox, like Star Fox, and she cannot look at him because she's losing her fucking mind at just this dumb, dead-eyed fox thing sitting next to her. So I know there's a lot of people that won't be able to watch it. I mean, I think more people are much more repulsed and upset with Ryan than they are Adam. But still, I know there's people that can't separate those two. And I think I watched it after this happened because Renee didn't know what that moment was, and I showed it to her. But Yeah, that's like one of my favorite Alanah moments is just the fact that she just can't handle him in that stupid mask. So definitely, like I said, we'll keep tabs on her and see. And once it's actually announced later tonight that what she's doing, we'll talk about it on here at that point. But yeah, another soldier has moved on, has left the ranks of the army here. But
Are you saying that because you're wearing camo?
yeah, I don't even. Well, I guess it does show up a little. I was like, I don't even know how well it shows up on the camera.
I couldn't
like I was
tell.
doing like a weird.
Right now, I could tell it was camo. I thought you were just wearing a black shirt.
Yeah, this is for our viewers here. You can see a little bit better once I lean kind of into the light. But yeah, it's so far on the 2 video podcasts I've worn 2 Rooster Teeth, or I guess they're both Achievement Hunter shirts, but still Rooster Teeth shirts. This is the You Can Do Better one that has, I don't even know if I can spin around here, but it has has a big skull and stuff on the back of it. For our audio listeners, I was trying to show off the back and I got stuck, so I couldn't turn completely, hit the dresser. But yeah, I was trying to wear my Rooster Teeth or Achievement Hunter whatever merch that I own, which I learned I own way more than what I thought I did. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot I got that shirt. So I actually have a ton of shirts. But what I also learned is that none of them fit me anymore. So I had there's only like a select few that I'll be wearing. So I'm gonna wear them whenever I can. So you'll probably be seeing a lot of the same 4 shirts. But
I mean, you can wear normal t-shirts.
No, I know. That's what I was gonna say. It's like you'll probably still see these same 4 shirts, but I'm not just gonna. This is gonna be like a weekly thing where I just try to find my whatever Rooster Teeth shirt is clean to throw on just for recording. But I just wanted to do it for these first ones. I actually think I may already be out of. I don't even know if I have any other shirt that I can wear right now. I think I have this the shirt that I have this one sitting here. I thought that
now Mike's showing off his clothes.
Yeah, I had to edit that one. It's the one I was talking about before, the RTX. I forget what year, where they're all cartoons and stuff of the Achievement Hunter. So it's like I have that one sitting there, but yeah, I don't plan on doing this every single week, but for now, I want to flaunt it.
So staying in the Funhaus realm. Well, I was talking to you before we started, but I didn't know. I was not aware of the Funhaus podcast, but they're doing like best horror movies battle royale, and I'm very excited to listen to that. I know today is Halloween. I probably won't finish. I think there's 2 of them so far, but that's something I'm looking forward to checking out.
Yeah, Funhaus was one of the ones that I really binge whenever I get into it, because it's like you can go through it, because it's tough too, because I don't even know. Actually, I haven't even looked at it in a long time. Well, not a lot of movies have come out either. But I'm just pulling up on my phone now. But Funhaus is one of those ones that especially if there's a movie that's like a big movie like Endgame or something that comes out, and they do a spoiler review kind of thing of the movie. I always enjoy listening to those, because especially if it's a movie I really liked, or I think they do shows on here too, but I actually can't remember right now. But either way, I always enjoy hearing people talk about, especially the big tentpole movies, or when they get into theories and stuff. So I'll get sucked in to those types of shows and those episodes and everything. But yeah, it's very I like when you make discoveries of things that have been around for a long time, as we do this podcast weekly.
Well, it was on the subreddit, and I was like, oh, I'm into horror. Well, it's Halloween. I love Halloween, so I want more content that's Halloween based.
Well, we can actually make this work too, because you can listen to it or listen to them, and then we can talk about it next week, and we can have a Doug subject on RT Talk.
Never.
Okay, well, you can listen to it, and then you can shut your mouth and never say anything about it ever again. It's up to you.
Next Halloween, I'll talk about it.
This year's Funhaus podcast.
Yes.
You're gonna delay it.
I'm gonna sit on it for a year, forget everything they talk about.
So you're gonna bring it up, and I'll just be going, "What are you talking? When did they do this?" And then you'll be mad at me. Last year. What is unclear here? This is from 365 days ago. How are you lost?
one hot dog year ago.
You're probably gonna wear that exact same costume next year.
I have 4 of these, so I might.
I still don't know why you have 4, but yes, so that's our big topic for this week is the Alanah stuff. The only other 2 things that we have, and it's gonna make this podcast much shorter, but it's kind of the way this podcast works. Is sometimes we have these big topics that take us like 2 hours to get into, and sometimes we have ones that we go through in like 35, 40 minutes. So we kind of just talk as long as we talk, and we don't really have like a marker that we try to hit anymore. So I lost my. Oh, there it is. Okay, so the other 2 things I wanted to mention, as not necessarily quickly, but we'll talk about a little bit. But one thing that happened is during RTX at Home, and and Jack mentioned like as a part of this for Extra Life, is that they were doing these print-on-demand shirts, and I was trying to see. Oh yeah, so it's like they were doing these print-on-demand shirts for Extra Life, so that way, or what that meant was that they were gonna have a lot more merch out there, and they could do stuff like mugs and different. So he mentioned a bunch of stuff. That's just what I can remember. And so apparently at RTX at Home, they were also doing these print-on-demand things, but there's been a huge delay for people getting the shirts and everything. So they tweeted, and it just says, Happy Monday. We have a RT store update for y'all today. We're experiencing delays with print-on-demand orders placed during RTX at Home due to a worldwide shortage of t-shirts. Our partner is working to restock now and fulfilling your orders. If you have a question about your specific order, send us a DM or email with your order number and we'll look into it. Most often it's going to be that we're waiting on a specific color of shirt to come in and that your order will ship soon. Thanks for your patience. So I was not aware that there was a worldwide shortage of t-shirts going on.
I would never think that.
I'm surprised that I guess maybe just there aren't as many manufacturing places that are up and running with COVID going on, because I don't know if they would have been considered essential. I don't think so at the beginning anyway.
Unless the clothes are essential though.
They are essential, but I don't know what the parameters would be for it, because those first couple months where everything was closed down. I had to have a permit that I drove around with in case I got pulled over for being out. It was kind of crazy. Thinking back on it, we're still in it, but it's still kind of crazy to think about those early months and how scary everything was. But
yeah.
So yeah, there's apparently a shortage of t-shirts across the entire planet, and so if you haven't received your RTX at Home shirt, that's why. And like they said, that you can send them a question about it, you can email them about it, but more than likely it's just the fact that they need to get that shirt in. So I don't know since I think Extra Life is next week.
The 7th.
It's actually
it's a week.
I think it starts this week, doesn't it?
No, it starts on the 7th.
Oh, okay. I was thinking it started on the 3rd or something.
Starts on this. That's our voting day. So everyone, please go vote.
I hope that doesn't affect the merch and stuff like that for Extra Life, because they're obviously trying to. They have big goals this year. We had Phil on a couple weeks ago. If you haven't heard that one, you can find that podcast and you can go listen to it. Just 2 weeks ago, I believe, we had Phil on and talked about Extra Life and stuff. He runs the Buckeyes, RT Buckeyes community group, and they do their own Extra Life stuff every year. So
I think, if I remember right, I think they're doing their thing on Saturday. I don't know. Murphy said a time. We'll have to get in touch with them so we can at least pump that a little bit.
So maybe I should just listen and actually take notes on what he said so I can properly plug what's going on, because by the time our episode, I'll say by the time our episode comes out next week, we'll already be right in the midst of it. So, but either way, I hope this shortage thing. I mean, I know he said that they can print on, or they're going to be printing a bunch of different stuff for their merch and all that. But I don't know if there's going to be delays. I don't know if I don't know if this is like how long this will go on for, or like I said, I don't know if it's just the fact that with COVID things have been shut down, so there's not as much production going on for t-shirts and everything. But who knows? If you haven't received your shirt, then you might be waiting a while longer, or you might be, if you were planning on getting one in Extra Life, I don't know if that'll be impacted. But like I said, I was like, I know that's kind of a thing with them trying to really do, especially after this giant explosion that happened with, with the community and everything with Ryan and Adam, and really want to do some good to kind of counterbalance that and do a lot of good to counterbalance this year and everything that's happened, all the people that have been affected by just 2020 in general.
Right.
It's obviously no matter which way for the people in the US, or actually I guess anybody, but no matter which way the election goes, there's going to be a certain group of people that's going to be impacted in a negative way. So it's like there's gonna be a lot of stuff happening that I know that they're really trying to have a positive force to I don't know, take place in 2020. So
Right.
I hope this doesn't impact Extra Life too much, and they can just power through and get their shirts and their merch and everything ready, and people can buy that and help out a good cause. But last thing I want to mention is that this actually happened last week, or maybe even the week before. I don't remember exactly when this came out, but with everything else going on, it just didn't even occur to me to like put it in the list. Although if it was a normal week, I would have, but just with the gravity of the other things, and then we mentioned a couple things last week at the end, but I didn't think to add it to the list at that point. But Elise put out a book that is a children's Halloween book. It's called A Night in I think it's Halloween House, I believe. Yeah, A Night in Halloween House. I honestly, I'm going to buy it because I want it. Like, first of all, I'm a child. If anyone listened out in the grapes this week, I talked about Pokemon for like, I forget how long. I'm an adult baby. So it's like, I'll probably still enjoy, basically, even though it's a children's book, I'll probably still enjoy it, even if she hadn't written it. But knowing it was her that wrote it, I think I'm going to like it even more.
Mike hates Halloween.
I'm not a fan of Halloween, really. Halloween is something, I feel like Halloween missed me, and I don't know why or how.
Because you're garbage.
Wow, that was way more intense and hurtful than I was anticipating. But no, like Halloween was a weird thing, because like Halloween to me growing up was you would get a costume, you go trick or treating, but then we got to an age where it was like really frowned upon to be trick or treating when you drive yourself up to the house to get candy and stuff. So like Halloween for me ended there, and then like when we were like in our 20s, everyone's like, oh, it's Halloween coming up, and I was like, and who cares? It was like it just meant it didn't mean anything, because like we can't do anything, and it just became this thing that like people still talked about and got really excited for, and I was like, I don't understand what happened. And people just like to dress up as a character or in costumes, and I was like, I don't understand. I don't get it, I guess.
You just pooped. You just like to poop the party.
Well, I think I was also like, as a kid, I was more excited because Halloween led into November, which meant we were closer to Christmas, and I was always amped about Christmas. Like Christmas was the one that I would die for. It's like that's what I always got really excited for. But yeah, Halloween, all of a sudden everyone just was raving about Halloween, and it's Halloween and it's Halloween. I was like, I don't know why we're excited. We can't do anything. So all we can do is wear costumes while we all get together and hang out, as opposed to just get together and hang out. It's like, okay, I guess. But yeah, I sound like I'm 65, but I'm not quite that old.
I don't know, man. You missed out.
What am I missing?
Everything.
That's descriptive and helpful.
Does Renee hate Halloween?
I don't know. I don't think she hates it.
I think she's. You've brainwashed her.
I don't think, like, she just got a Halloween wreath that she put on the door, so it's like she doesn't hate it, but it's not like something that we really like look forward to every year.
Just two curmudgeons looking at candy with spite.
No. See, that's where you're wrong. We fucking love candy. You've misunderstood this entire thing. the candy part's excellent. That's what drew me away from Halloween is I no longer got candy. That's probably what it is. It was like there's like an issue like with abandonment probably for me. It's probably I was left by the prospect of getting candy.
But at this point in your life, you can buy the Halloween candy, put it in a pumpkin bowl, and just eat it.
Yeah, and I could do that in September. I could do that in March. I could do that.
Same.
It's exactly the same to me. In fact, I can get more candy. I can just get a giant tub of it if I want, like a tote, and I could just fill it up with candy and eat it all year round. I can have ice cream for breakfast. I can do whatever I want.
Been there.
Yeah, haven't we all? Living our childhood dreams of ice cream for breakfast. But getting back to the Elise, her book here, I honestly will be actually I don't know. I probably actually want to actually read it. I don't know if I want to get like an audiobook of it. I think I want to actually have a physical copy of it.
Yeah, I think it's something you should have the physical copy of.
Well, people can't. I'd say I could just put it on my shelf up here, but no one can even see my shelf up there. Nope. I could.
Oh boy.
There it is. All the little Pokemon guys, and you can see. Oh, you can see Hobbs, Hobbs. I think is his name. I forget what. Yeah, it's Hobbs. I was like, it's not Calvin. Calvin's a kid.
So that was your thing, and I know that's Hobbs.
Yeah, I always. It's one of those things I don't know why it just never sticks in my head. But if I could find somewhere to display it for the podcast once I get it. But it's like I kind of want to get it one just to support the cause, but also it's like this. I don't know, for some reason it being like a kid's Halloween book is like that seems kind of interesting, and I wonder how like I think back to like Goosebumps and stuff, and it's like I wonder how you do like a horror thing but for kids and how that all works, because most of the time horror is like I don't know, kind of falls into, well, especially for movies just fall into jump scares most of the time for horror movies, but it's like horror books I feel like I'm guessing I think you've definitely read more horror books than me, but my guess would be it's more like psychological and more
suspense
and like creepy than it is. Obviously, you can't have a jump scare in a book, but I wonder what that looks like for a kid's book, especially one from the mind of Elyse Willems. So,
well, you had all the Goosebump books, so you tell me.
Well, I read 2 of them, so, and one got destroyed with a hammer. So,
the fish one.
Yeah, I was really upset. I didn't, for some reason I never remember, I tell the story I feel like a lot, but I never remember what it's actually called. But there was a Goosebumps book that was, it was like Deep Trouble or something like that, and it had a hammerhead shark on the cover. That's like one of the only 2 I actually read of Goosebumps, and I read that one, and there was a sequel that came out, and it had this real like piranha looking deep water fish look creature on the cover, and it was like a pinkish purple, I think, if I remember right. Not the fish, but like the color of the book.
Yeah, it had like a pink border.
Yeah, and I got that one, and I was like, I actually enjoyed that first one. I'm gonna read the second one, and probably within like a week of me owning it, my mom was trying to fix my bunk bed and didn't want to hit like the wood of the bunk bed with the hammer and dent it all up or break it, and so she needed a buffer. So she grabbed my new book and she used that as a buffer and just beat the hell out of my book. And it still actually, I think I have pictures of it that I'll post for the podcast. Like I'll post on I'll use our Twitter account finally, which this is like all it's become like used for. It's just supplemental kind of pictures here and there, like when we need them. But
well, I mean, that's a good use for it.
Yeah. So at RT Talk Podcast on Twitter, if you wanna see these pictures, if I have them, I think I have them, but I'm just gonna keep scrolling back while we're talking.
Well, besides that book, is there anything else on the list?
No, the book was the last thing I had. But
okay.
But I still have a couple things about the book. If you did you have something else you wanted to bring up?
No, I just wasn't sure. I was gonna say while you're looking, I was gonna expand on whatever the next thing was, but you don't got it.
Well, I'll just bring up the next thing. What I was going to mention is the fact I was trying to find. I can't find what the category was. I saw someone tweeting about it, and actually, I wonder if I could find, maybe in her replies more than anything. Someone mentioned the fact that her book was at the top of one of the Amazon like charts, and I was trying to find what that chart was, because like Amazon, they break things down into like super specific categories, and no, that's not it.
Bro, I thought this was like I was picturing like a baby book.
Oh, like a pop-up book, or
kind of like, but it actually looks like almost like an R.L. Stine kind of book.
Yeah, I would say like, I mean, I don't know what it's about or anything like that, but it looks like it's closer to like a Goosebumps level.
This is all based off just the picture, the cover.
Yeah. It was a #1 new release in children's spine-chilling horror. I was like, they break it down into such specific categories. That it's like, it was children's spine-chilling horror is what it made the top chart of, and it was for like a new release. But on Amazon, if you look it up, in terms of bestseller rank, it is #2 overall as a bestseller in children's spine-chilling horror. That's where I was like, I knew it was at #1 of something.
Are you on the Amazon link?
Yeah, I can buy it right now, actually.
Oh, because on mine it says bestseller rank #24 in children's spine-chilling horror.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so...
Let's see if oh, maybe that's just like maybe that just keeps updating.
I would assume
it says 24 now.
All right. You're just throwing out some false facts here.
Well, I thought that was just like its highest rank. I didn't realize that was like like a ticker updating as time went on. I thought that was just saying like that's as high as it got in like terms of bestseller, but apparently that's just where it currently sits right now in terms of sales.
Mike's a liar.
That's not a liar. I said 22.
You said
There's
two.
only one. I said 22.
Oh.
Yes. There's only one of us dressed like an idiot right now, and it's you. Believe the man not dressed like a hot dog. That's what I have to say.
Hot dog.
But yeah, so like it has done pretty well to make it to the top of the charts. And it's unfortunate because I really thought that was just like the highest rank that it hit, and that's what it was saying. Like, oh, like a New York Times bestseller becomes a bestseller, and then it's always a New York Times bestseller. So it's like, I thought that was just like its rank and like it's kind of like a badge of honor, but I guess that is just live updating. So I would drop 2 spots since we started the podcast because it was 22 and then went to 24. But still, it's a came out of nowhere for me. I didn't know she was like writing a book or anything, but I still think it was a pretty cool thing to see. And like I said, I would probably buy it regardless, but I actually want to read it. I want to see what a children's like horror book from the mind of Elyse Willems would.
Can you read 147 pages of a children's book?
I could do it in probably about 2 months. Yeah, probably. I
Page
wish
a day.
I was kidding. I just have such an issue. This is gonna make me sound even dumber. I have such an issue reading because.
Not because you're dyslexic or anything.
By the way, I found the book. I do have the picture. That's if you're watching the video podcast right now, you'll see a terrible version of it.
Yeah,
That was it, and you can see all the marks all over. It was Deep Trouble.
Yeah, you can kind of see all the beat up. Yeah, the hammer hits.
Yeah, so I'll post it on Twitter so people can see what we're talking about. But if you're watching the video one, you saw the cover of it. There's a back. I have a shot of the back cover too, which is all mangled. I forget what you said. I forget what we were talking about when I found the picture. Shite. Talking about Elise in the book.
Oh, you reading? You can't read.
Oh, right. Yeah, my stupidity. Thank you, Doug. Of course, leave it to you to remember that. Yeah, I have such an issue reading that, and honestly, even listening to audiobooks, because a lot of times there's so much information. Like, if I'm listening, there's so much information that I miss so much stuff. But when it comes to reading, I'll be like, I'll read something, and then as I'm still reading, I'm kind of like thinking about like that moment and like kind of possibilities and where it could go, and like I get like so focused on this one thing that as I'm reading, I'm not actually reading, and I go, I didn't read this entire page. I was like, I don't know what I just went through, and I start over, and like I just get I get lost in my own like imagination for what I'm reading, and then I end up like having to backtrack, and then it's like, or it's sometimes too, it's like where I'll start reading a book, and then like so much time will go by, I'm like, okay, who is this? Who's this guy that they're with now? Like I forget who this guy is, and then like I have to kind of like back up a few pages and stuff because like I stopped reading it like in the middle of a chapter for whatever reason, and it's been like a week or two since I picked it back up. And it's like, what are we talking about? Like I can't remember. And audiobooks, the same thing happens, except for audiobooks, they just keep powering through, and then it's like, oh, it's been like 3.5 minutes, and I don't know what they said. I had to just rewind the whole way back to try
I
to
do that once in a while. I had to pause it. I'm like, all right, what? Go back.
Well, that's what like I mentioned when we first talked about like on our on Out in the Grapes, playing Ghost of Tsushima. That led me down like a rabbit hole of learning about like the Mongols and stuff. And it happened to me. I did the same like the hardcore history I listened to about the Mongols, and before I learned about World War One, because I just feel like we talked about it on the podcast, but I just felt like I never learned about World War One in school. They were like, World War One had happened. Just know Franz Ferdinand, like there was an assassination, things were gross, and then World War II happened. It was like we kind of just glanced over it, and so I went through and I learned about World War One. But the hardcore history podcasts are long, especially the World War One is a lot of really big parts, and I would be listening to it, and he'd mention like this destruction on the battlefield, and I'd zone out, like trying to picture it, like that'd be like insane to like even just to like flashback to see for a moment, or to even just go there today, and like I'm just like trying to imagine being there and how it would feel to be there, and like to see like, no, this used to be a trench that they were in, and now it's just like a grass hill or whatever. And then he's just like, and that's when Germany was like blowed up. And I was like, wait, how we get here? I was like, what is he talking about? And I'm like rewinding, and I was like, nope, didn't hear that part. Wait, no, I did hear this part. Okay, now I guess I'm here somewhere. And then I have to like go back through and I have to really pay attention. But then my mind just goes, oh, that's crazy. They had a tank and I'm just gone.
So Mike can't pay attention.
My imagination, it's like I can focus on it. And it's like, it's just a matter of when I hear something interesting, I should just learn to pause. It's just like when I hear something interesting or like sparks my imagination, I just start thinking about it like more in depth. But I'm only thinking about that. And I'm not really listening or anything else. Someone will see this or listen to this, and they're going to diagnose me with something I probably have and was never caught as when I was younger. But still, it's like, all that being said, I think I can handle a children's book. I just need enough time.
And your blanket.
Oh, my blanket's out there. I got my wolf blanket out there. I can curl up in it.
A hot cup of cocoa.
That is how I drink cocoa.
Like you're smoking it, 'cause that's what I did.
Yeah, making that sound. Like some sort of mechanics are involved. Just firing it in. It's just little sips. But yeah, that's everything I had for RT Talk this week.
Whatever's happening on your road, it's like a fucking rally car.
It's my life. This is the road all the time. It's just always people flying by. It's always the loudest cars. We can't have windows open that are close to the road, because then we can't hear anything in the house. We're just watching something. It's just goes by, and you're like, oh, I didn't hear what they said. And just one car after another. And it's just, there's someone that I think last week's podcast, there was someone that went by that it sounded like someone was knocking, that exhaust that just kept like backfiring.
Oh,
that person drives by every single day. It's that I just hear as they go all the way down, and they're driving all around. So one time I thought there was gunshots happening. I thought there was like a drive-by happening nearby, because it just kept going off and on, and just loud bangs. I was like, get your car looked at. I was like, I feel like your fuel efficiency is through the floor right now. It's like you're probably filling up every time you get to the end of the road, I imagine. But
poop.
Yeah. Well, I thought you said something, but yeah, that's it for this one, I think, unless there was anything else that Doug wanted to throw in at the last second. But
no, no. I didn't know Elise. Alana's leaving, not Elise.
No, yeah, careful. Let's not make an announcement here. I mean, I know I outed Bernie as possibly being part of a cartel, or trying to evade, paying taxes. But that's a different story.
Right.
Let's not cause a fervor here.
Mike's fanfic. Bernie Burns, where is he now?
I think that'd be a good fanfic of, like, the real reason he left, and it's just incredible, like, Narcos level, like the Netflix show Narcos, like, level story of him on the run, and or I guess maybe it'd probably be closer to like a Van Damme movie from the 90s, where like he's on the run and he's beating the shit out of everybody on his way to, New Zealand or wherever he's living now. And then there'll be the sequel where they find him. He's like, I've been retired for 10 years. And they bring him out of retirement, and he kills everybody. It's his old rival or whatever. I think I just wrote
Gus.
Yeah, I think I just wrote 3 movies instantly. So we should get on that, and then we'll release our own book. But that's it for this one. This one's been stupid. Doug was dressed as a hot dog the whole time. It's a lot of things happened on this one, but
my mask is too far away to put it back on.
That's
for the outro.
That's fine. I mean, you have time to grab it if you wanted to run over, but
no.
You're just
I'll put the casing.
Good. You look good. You're a hairy hot dog, which is not a good combo, but
I'm a bathroom hot dog.
Okay, that's not a thing, and that's gross to put those 2 things together. But that was gross. That actually made my stomach turn. You slurping on a bathroom hot dog. I'm just going to say thank you, everyone, for listening.
Thanks for watching. Happy Halloween. I hope everyone has a better time than Mike, because Mike hates Halloween.
I'm going to do nothing Halloween related tomorrow. I want you to know that. My life will not be different tomorrow during Halloween.
Well,
I know you'll be sitting there watching stuff wearing a mask and dressed as a hot dog.
Every hour, a different costume.
Just as you play video games or whatever.
I was trying to think of what I can wear to work tomorrow. I don't know if I have anything that's super workable, but I'm going to try.
I mean, you can move pretty well in that hot dog costume.
I can.
It's not very professional, but it'll work. Keep you warm. But yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you want to watch this podcast, we're on YouTube now. If you want to listen to this podcast, we're pretty much everywhere podcasts are. Spotify, iTunes, it's like Stitcher, all the big hitters that are out there. I think we're on all of them. I'm sure there's a few that have slipped through the cracks here, but you can listen to it there. We welcome anyone who's finding us on YouTube. It's kind of our new audience that we're kind of breaking into here. But we thank you for listening. Thank you for finding us. Thank you for the people the couple people that have subscribed to the YouTube channel. It's still hard to find that video, but hopefully with this release and subsequent releases that we'll be easier to find than we are right now. But other than that, let's end this one. Does Hot Dog Doe have anything to end on other than your bass lick? No one expected a howling hot dog. Ever. A howling bathroom hot dog. I apologize. I don't want to misidentify you.
Bye-bye.